Chapter 3: Contemplating the Karmic Conditions of Beings. At that time, the Buddha's mother, Lady Maya, placed her palms together respectfully and asked Earth-Store Bodhisattva, "Great sage, could you tell us about the different kinds of karma that beings of Jambudvipa create and the resulting retributions that they undergo?" Earth-Store replied, "There are millions of worlds and lands that may or may not have women, may or may not have hells, may or may not have Buddha Dharma, and so forth, to having or not having sound hearers and pratyeka Buddhas. Since the worlds differ, the retributions in the hells also differ." Lady Maya spoke again to the Bodhisattva. "Could you please tell us about the offences done by those in Jambudvipa that result in retributions in the evil destinies?" Earth-Store replied, "Worthy mother, please listen as I speak briefly about that." The Buddha's mother answered, "Great sage, please tell us about that." Then Earth-Store Bodhisattva said to the worthy mother, "Retributions that result from offences done in Jambudvipa are described like this. Beings who are not filial to their parents, even to the extent of harming or killing them, will fall into the uninterrupted hell, where for billions of eons they will seek escape in vain. Beings who shed the Buddha's blood, slander the triple jewel, and do not venerate sutras will fall into the uninterrupted hell, where for billions of eons they will seek escape in vain. Beings who usurp or damage the property of the eternally dwelling, who defile bhikshus or bhikshunis, or who commit sexual acts within the sangharama, or who kill or harm beings, they will fall into the uninterrupted hell, where for billions of eons they will seek escape in vain. Beings who seem to be shramanas, but in their minds are not shramanas, who destroy the things of the eternally dwelling, who deceive lay people, who go against the precepts, and who do many other evil deeds, will fall into the uninterrupted hell, where for billions of eons they will seek escape in vain. Beings who steal the wealth and property of the eternally dwelling, including its grains, its food and drink, its clothing, or take anything that at all that was not given to them, will fall into the uninterrupted hell, where for billions of eons they will seek escape in vain. Earth-Store continued, "Worthy mother, beings who commit such offences will fall into the fivefold uninterrupted hell, where they will seek constantly for temporary relief from their suffering, but will never receive it, even a moment's respite." Lady Maya further asked Earth-Store Bodhisattva, "Why is that hell called uninterrupted?" Earth-Store replied, "Worthy mother, the hells are all within the great Iron Ring Mountain. The 18 great hells and the 500 subsequent ones each have their own names. There are hundreds and thousands more that also have their own names. The uninterrupted hell is found within a city of hells that encompass more than 80,000 square miles. That city is made entirely of iron. 10,000 miles above the city is an unbroken mass of fire. Within the city are many interconnected hells, each with a different name. There is just one hell called uninterrupted. The wall of that hell is 1,000 miles high, totally made of iron, and covered with a fire burning downwards that is joined by fire burning upwards. Iron snakes and dogs spewing fire race back and forth atop that wall. In that hell is a bed that extends for 10,000 miles. One person undergoing punishment sees his or her own body filling the entire bed. When millions of people undergo punishment simultaneously, each still sees his or her own body filling the bed. That is how retributions are undergone by those with the same karma. What is more, these offenders undergo extreme suffering. Thousands of yakshas and other evil ghosts display fangs like swords and eyes like lightning as they pull and drag the offenders across their brass-clawed hands. Other yakshas wield huge iron halberds that they used to pierce the offenders' mouths and noses or stab their bellies and backs. They toss the offenders into space, then catch them by skewing them with their halberds, or they let them drop onto the bed. Iron eagles peck at the offenders' eyes, and iron serpents wrap around their necks. Long nails are driven into all their limbs. Their tongues are pulled out, stretched, and plowed through. The internal organs are gouged out, sliced and minced. Molten metal is poured into their mouths, and their bodies are bound with hot iron. Responses to their karma go on like that throughout thousands of deaths and rebirths. They pass through millions of eons, seeking escape in vain. When this world is destroyed, they find themselves in another world. When that world is destroyed, they pass to another one. When that world too is destroyed, they move on to another. When this world comes into being again, they return here. The situation involving uninterrupted retribution for offenses is like that. Moreover, 5 karmic responses account for the name uninterrupted. What are the 5? First, it is said to be uninterrupted, since punishment is undergone day and night throughout many eons without ceasing for a moment. Second, it is said to be uninterrupted, since one person feels it in the same way that many people feel it. Third, it is said to be uninterrupted, since repeated punishments continue without cease throughout years that stretch into nayutas of eons. Those punishments are inflicted by instruments of torture such as forks and clubs, or by serpents, wolves and dogs, or by pounding, grinding, sawing, drilling, chiseling, cutting and chopping, or by boiling liquids, iron nets, iron ropes, iron asses, and iron horses, or by raw iron bound around one's head, and hot iron poured over one's body, or by meals of iron pellets and drinks of iron fluids. Fourth, it is said to be uninterrupted, since everyone undergoes karmic responses based on the offenses they committed, whether they be men, women, savages, old, young, honorable, or lowly, whether they be dragons, spirits, gods, or ghosts. Fifth, it is said to be uninterrupted, since offenders continually undergo tens of thousands of deaths and as many rebirths each day and night, from the moment they first enter this hell and on through thousands of eons. During that time, they seek even a moment's relief, but it never happens. Only when their karma is finished can they attain rebirth. Earth-store Bodhisattva said to the worthy mother, "That is a brief description of the uninterrupted hell. If I were to speak extensively about the names of all the implements and punishments in the hells and all the sufferings there, I could not finish speaking in an entire eon." After hearing that, Lady Maya placed her palms together sorrowfully and made obeisance and withdrew.